Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. So, last time we finally completed the Triforce of Wisdom. No extra fanfare, it's just together on the menu now. But with it, we can finally go to the final dungeon of the game. We just, have to take a few loops first.
Now, I can't remember if last week I mentioned this, but I like the idea. I don't think this game does it, but I like the idea of unlocking a warp item like this, and one of the dungeons is only accessible with that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Minish Cap doesn't quite do that, but there is definitely... When you get your warp item, there is a specific area unlocked from the start that you couldn't get to normally. If I remember correctly.
Wind Waker does that too. The Isle, there's an Isle of the Great Fairy you can only teleport to, you can't sail there.
Yeah. Yeah, so every once in a while it comes up, but yeah, nothing like that here. But we are heading off to the end, which, as you might imagine, is amongst the very deadly mountains. Let's see, I forget the old man's exact words, but he mentioned something about Pinnacle Rock as the entrance to death or something like that, and that is our hint for the end. The only problem is, what is Pinnacle Rock? We'll figure it out soon enough. Yeah, I got plenty of money, so I'll just buy more meat. There, the menu is complete once again. Meat is back on the menu, boys.
Don't you just love menus with empty slots?
No. That's specifically why I bought that meat, so it wouldn't be that way anymore. I couldn't stand it.
Remember how in Final Fantasy VI, because one of your espers gets upgraded, there has to be an empty slot in the menu for that change to happen?
I sure do.
And that just spawned a ton of rumors that, oh yeah, there's one more esper you can get. Also, very much like we're talking about frustrating things while you're unable to get that rupee.
Alright, so... Oh god, ambushed. Ambushed by rocks. Alright, so I believe we're coming up on Pinnacle Rock right about now. I feel like Pinnacle Rock is a thing that isn't quite in Zelda anymore, but it does come up a few times in the earlier games. I could be wrong, but I feel like I haven't seen it as much as, say, your Death Mountains or anything like that, but regardless, here we are. We just need to kill things first, because this is a very vicious room. Lever go away, thank you. And if you use your bombs on the right spot, here we go. So, this is level 9, the final dungeon of the game, Death Mountain. So this room right here automatically opens, but if we didn't have the full Triforce, there'd just be an old man going, nope, don't do that. Don't go in here, you need the Triforce of Wisdom, buddy.
It sure is nice the dungeon to not let you progress until you're ready to finish it.
Yeah, sure is great, and I'm sure there aren't any last-second tricks here that would perhaps require you scouring this place for everything. So, Death Mountain is huge. I'm just going to say ahead of time, the shape of this dungeon is a skull, and we'll see the full scope of it when we pick up a map, but, needless to say, this one is gigantic, very easy to get lost in, very easy to get killed in, and not only that, it wasn't in this run, but I remember the first time I beat the game, I did go to, I think it was like a room with an old man in it, and then progressed a little further, not realizing that I'd passed through a one-way door, and I needed to go back through a loop to get back to the critical path. So, you do need to know where you're going, because sometimes this is also a maze.
Every time you say critical path, I get flashbacks to the dumbest question I ever heard in a college class.
Alright.
Do I have time to elaborate, or do you need to talk about something else?
You can elaborate.
So unfortunately, I went to a business school, and at one point I was learning about project management, and like how to map out projects, and various things related to that. And one of those is trying to quantify like how long a project will take and how short it could possibly be. So you lay out all your tasks, you connect the ones that have to go in order, and then the longest path, the path that takes the most amount of time, is the critical path, because that's how long your project is going to be unless you can get it shorter. And at one point, one of the students just said, well, how can we make it shorter if it's on the critical path? I don't know why he thought that it was impossible to make things shorter if they were on the critical path. And I've only asked that question once. He asked it about 6 times in a row.
Oh my god.
And brought the lesson to a screeching halt. Like, I know to everybody else, like, oh yeah, somebody asked a stupid question in the business school, but like, look, this one was really fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Eyes of the Skull.
Yeah, admittedly, like I said, the shape of the dungeon is a skull, so you gotta pay attention to the eye portions of it, but, I'm just gonna say ahead of time, the eyes don't even have the most important part in of themselves. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the manual again. It's come up before because, obviously, you definitely wanted the manual because it was one of your sources of hints for the game. Sometimes, other times it just doesn't have very good hints. Sometimes it's just like, this is a thing. What a mysterious thing we're not going to tell you about.
The manual should have just had the phrase "good luck, idiot" printed in it.
Sometimes it's close. So the manual is actually available on both archive.org and a Nintendo website, actually. They do seem to have a fair few manuals on their website, which is actually pretty nice. I think archive.org has the better format, but I'm going to link you to this because I also want you to see, amongst other things, some incredible links. I mean, I don't know who that is, but there's some very good links in here. In general, I feel like it's a very worthwhile manual to read for that, and also just some video game terminology, like creating your own Link character, or hints on how to destroy Ganon, which are both very fun phrases, erasing an old Link character. But yeah, it's all pretty charming, and I'd say the only real bad part of the manual is the story, which for some reason has a backdrop that just makes some of the text hard to read. Other than that, though, real good manual. But if you go to, starting on page 16, there are some incredible links. I'm going to get as many into the video as possible, but god, they're all so good.
I was about to call them out.
25 has Link drinking a potion. Like, this is just a Link as drawn by the behemoth, the guys who made Castle Crashers.
God, that is what it reminds me of. I do kind of miss the, Western takes on Japanese video game characters. I know we all remember the really stupid ones, like Bad Box Art Mega Man. But this, like, very cartoony Link is very good.
Mm-hmm. It's very charming. And also, who could forget Link's actual first line, "Stop right there"? He says while he beans an Octorok with a boomerang. But yeah, no, Look, I know I've had a bit of not actually mentioning the hack I've been using, in video this entire time. But, I would absolutely be remiss if I did not, at any point, include these links. They're very good.
I want to bring up my favorite manual thing. Are you familiar with the City Builder series?
Nope.
The first one I played was Pharaoh, but it's like the flagship title is Caesar. And in Caesar 3, there's a list of all the buildings you can build and what they do. And the medium statue is listed as saying, Administration, prosperity rating up to 75%. What the hell is this shit? And we don't know why it says, what the hell is this shit?
Somebody just got really frustrated writing that.
Yeah, my favorite theory is that somebody was hacking into, like, the company servers and could only find, like, drafts for the manual of a video game they were making. She's like, no, I need real data, what is this?
So anyway, I'd also like to point out that, we actually have to go off of the map for this room. So, there are 2 items in Death Mountain. One of them is the red ring, which once again cuts damage in half, so we're now at 1/4 of the default damage at the start of the game. And now we're red. But yeah, no, that is a very rude secret, because it's actually just outside of the skull. The eyes of the skull? Pfft, no, that's not the most secret thing. The other item, however, is not off of the map, but you definitely need to find it. Go to the next room, but what next room? It's this one. There have been so many bombable walls, I know where to go by now. Also, funny you mentioned disparity between perhaps people writing the manual and people writing the game. Because I also happen to notice that I don't think the manual for Zelda ever actually misspells Ganon's name. It doesn't do the 3N thing. Whereas the in-game text does.
Yeah,
which is,
you've got
something.
Limited budget for your localization. You're going to spend it on the manual. Because that...
It is a useful manual, yeah.
Yeah, despite the whole, like, oh, real gamers don't read the manual, I don't think that was ever as prominent as people would have you believe. And I think it was far more likely that, like, people were just dumb kids and didn't read the manual because they were stupid kids. And less as, like, an intentional sign of how good of a gamer they were, or whatever the fuck.
Patra has the map.
Big man has the rock.
In case you're wondering, Patra is that, like, eye enemy that has the other eye enemies surrounding it. That's just kind of the mini-boss of the dungeon. There are a lot of them, and yeah, one of them had a map, but I already got it, so... Don't have to care about that. We're already done. That wasn't even useful, I've got max rupees. Though, of course, we are going to need some amount of rupees because... arrows are another thing we'll need at some point. I guess it's kinda nice that there's no wallet in this game. There's also technically no bomb bag, but there are bomb upgrades, but... Money, on the other hand, you don't need to, worry about getting upgrades for that. You just have to worry about losing money when you find the wrong cave.
You know, I do like the description for Gibdo just starts with the Mummy Man as a full sentence.
Mm-hmm. It's him, he's the mummy man.
One of the things is just, and now fight to the death with Ganon.
Do it.
And then Link is just fighting a question mark?
This is the second time I'm going to be making a Pandora's Box joke in the videos I record today, but dang, I can't believe somebody unleashed Pandora's Box on Link.
Oh, I read the accompanying text, and it's just, they don't want to spoil what Ganon looks like.
Nobody's lived to tell the tale.
Which is an insane thing to think about now.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Well, I guess Ganondorf is, like, the more popular design now, so it is a little... I could see it being shocking to younger players.
Get out of here, Bat.
Though we'll get him eventually.
Alright, so that is the item that is necessary. Those are the silver arrows. If you don't get these, you can't beat the game. So don't rush off to the boss, or you're not going to be beating the boss. Also, I don't know a lot about Second Quest off the top of my head, but I do know that there's a worse variation of the bubble, where it just removes your ability to use the sword until you actually go and do something about it. Which is a decision. Like, you have to go to a ferry or something in order to cancel it out, which is really Dark Souls level of, here's the status effect that makes it so you have to go out of your way to remove the thing. You are officially cursed, idiot. Anyway though, yeah, we are now done with everything we need to collect in the dungeon, meaning we can just beeline for the boss, which is good, because like I said, this place is kind of a maze, and there are some one-way doors, which is a thing. Alright, so... who do we got in this room? I'm gonna be honest, this room's kind of a mercy. It's really nice just seeing slime enemies when you have a dungeon full of everything else, like, hey, no Wizrobes? Cool, great.
You were saying.
This room does have Wizrobes. I hate it. Also, yeah, they kind of just get to, zag on you a bit here. Because they can just, like, do that little teleportation thing over panels you can't otherwise get through. And they just sort of keep doing that until they've got a good position to hit you sometimes. It's so rude. It's the secret dodge function that Wizrobes have that you might not expect. Alright, is this the last I feel like this is the last passage.
Saved by your shield there.
Yeah, no, the shield's very useful. You definitely want the magic shield. It's worth the money, it reflects so many things. So our goal at this point is the left eye of the skull. So it's less that the eyes hold a secret and more just one holds an item, the other holds the end of the game, and... I was wrong, that's another passage. Oh my god, this place. This place sometimes.
Running out of time!
Look, there's gonna be, like, next to no end credits. Thankfully, I feel like we have both made our opinions known, so...
Ganon's gonna be a bitch of a final boss fight at this rate.
Yes, but not by the definition you might be expecting. Honestly, by both definitions, if we're being honest. But yeah, I guess speedrunning thoughts, I can see the appeal of this, and I do kind of wish more adventure games kind of like this clicked with me, but earlier ones definitely don't, and I'm not really in a hurry to play this ever again. But again, I kind of get it in a certain respect.
I've been playing the HD 2D remake of the first Dragon Quest game, which, as we've said before, is kind of structured like this. The HD remake is...
Also, here's Ganon.
Yeah. A bit more standardized, more comparable to modern-day RPGs. Well,
So yeah, basically, even though the darkness is gone, Ganon can still not be seen until you stab him. He will just teleport around the room shooting you. Once he turns red, you can shoot him with a silver arrow, and now he's just salsa. Pick up the Triforce of Power, and we're done here.
Man, they used to be able to get away with all kinds of insane shit.
So yeah, like I said before, both definitions. It's a very quick fight when you get down to it. It's not easy, though. Who the heck is Saria? This is clearly Lynn. Also, fun fact, wow, you're the hero of Hyrule. Now have a seizure. If you're wondering, the Saria mod does actually normally change Zelda with Link, so I just kind of cut in the original version of the ending with this one. Now it's gay, folks. So yeah, that was Legend of Zelda. Good skeleton for a very good series, but again, it says another quest will start from here. I'm good. I'm done. No, thank you.
Yeah, I cannot believe that very many kids even made it to this point, let alone did the second quest.
Some kids have perseverance, and I guess in a respect, I am a little jealous of that. Nonetheless, though, that was The Legend of Zelda. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time for whatever we do next.